Hello and welcome, race fans, to another wonderful race here, brought to you by the Numb Thumbs Racing League here in the Cup Series. We're coming at you live from Michigan. We saw some great real-life action here this past weekend, and we're looking forward to adding to that enjoyment here tonight. We got a whole bunch of announcements and sponsors to get to, but first, let's start it off with the National Anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
There we go, right button that time. And thank you for that. As always, these great races are brought to you by DEP Graphics. Go ahead and check them out for some fantastic paint schemes, as well as ButtKicker. Elevate your gaming experience. Feel all the rumbles and bumbles underneath that seat of yours. Go ahead and go check out a ButtKicker, as well as AdminBoxx and Davidson Builders. Tonight's race all brought to you by Holler Boys Racing, and we are proud to be here with you once again on the face cams. I'm Alan Brown. Down there on that bottom left is Mr. Alan English. Alan, how you doing tonight, brother?
Great, man. Always look forward to Michigan. I think all three of us do. You won't see more exciting racing with these next-gen cars than you will at a place like Michigan. But it's a 2-mile track. We're going to do 100 laps around this thing to make 200 miles. Yep, that's the advanced math there, Turner, that y'all require of me. But yeah, been looking forward to this one since the schedule was released, and these guys are going to put on one heck of a show.
And speaking of Mr. Adam Turner, he's down there enjoying the fruits of the backyard of Mr. Ted Nugent. Mr. Adam Turner, he's all there ready and excited for this race in action here tonight, aren't you, buddy?
Well, I couldn't believe the English could multiply that Louisiana math. Man, good job.
I too, yeah.
Way to go, yeah. No, this is the home of Ted Nugent. We're going to either, maybe we'll see some deer or hear some guitar playing. I don't know, something cool. 1 fast repair, 70% fuel, 5 sets of tires. You get 25 incident points, you are DQ'd. 18 incident points, you get a penalty. We'll talk about it. During the race, a little bit, I'm sure. The track is hot. Last I saw it was 110. I don't know what it is right now, but hopefully it's cooled down a little bit, gets sticky.
And it is definitely a hot one out there as this heat wave continues to move across the country as we see all that weather details. No rain in the forecast here tonight at Michigan, so that's always a good thing as we go ahead and take a look down there at our key to the race. And man, that's find the line that works for you. There's a few different lines you can take around here at Michigan, and it's just all kind of about picking the one that's really going to work best for you, as this race is going to be a long one and you got to manage those tires.
Yeah, we've seen a couple of guys here in practice trying out that high line, and I'm sure they're going to have to move lines back and forth a little bit as the tires start to wear in and the car kind of changes handling properties.
Yeah, man. I mean, if you guys want to know the tricks here at Michigan, I know how to win here. I'm a champion here in Michigan. I pretty much dominate this track. What's really cool about the track, turns 2, 1 and 2 are way different from 3 and 4. And you're going to have to act accordingly, especially with your tire wear as they wear down. You're going to have to kind of figure out your lifting points and all that. So it's a race driver's track for sure.
That it is. As drivers are finishing up their practice runs here and going to head now down into qualifying, where we will get to see who will take the AdminBoxx Pull Award here tonight. All brought to you by that proud sponsor of AdminBoxx. Here, let's try to make sure we put up the right logo there. AdminBoxx, fantastic user utility device that allows you to really control the race inside of your own race. If you're one of these league admins that doesn't like to sit on the sidelines but also enjoys going around out there and driving with everybody, but you are tired of trying to have to reach for your mouse and click on a few things, man, AdminBoxx is a great solution for you. Where just an arm's reach at a button push, you can throw a caution, initiate penalties, do whatever you need. So be sure to go and check out AdminBoxx. As our first couple of drivers are out there on the track to put down some of their best times.
Yeah, and finishing, finishing. Your position in the starting grid is pretty important here. It's not like what we saw last week in, a plate race where you're pack racing and anything can happen. The draft is going to affect these cars tonight, but if you want to finish strong, you might as well start strong. These cars are not the easiest vehicles to pass in, so the next gen cars. So we'll see how these guys handle. We'll see how they handle this track tonight and handle the traffic they're going to eventually be dealing with. We are going to see some lap cars out there, so interesting to see what's going to happen tonight. I've been looking forward to it for quite some time.
Yes, sir,
Yeah,
indeed.
super fun track.
That it is, as we got Bristol Thompson currently sitting on top of that leaderboard. John T. Fike and Richard Hurst both trying their best to knock him down. Or take a look here at that 48 of Zeth Hawley, running an interesting paint color there for that Lowe's car. Don't think I've ever seen a yellow Lowe's in my life, but hey, you know what? It works. They should maybe change it up.
Got some really, really cool paints out here. A lot of them done by DEP Graphics, and just amazing things that they can do with layers and what is that called? The mapping with the reflective stuff. This just goes way over my head, but that's the result right there. Some beautiful paint jobs we'll see out in the field today.
Yeah, didn't Jimmy Johnson run that Lowe's Transformers thing? I don't know.
Know. Was it a throwback paint or something?
I don't know. I've seen it somewhere, but it is cool regardless.
At the same time, we do have some drivers joining us with the face cams, one of which out there on track right now is that 24 Bay Area Rob Chowder. Glad to have you back with us, Rob, and glad to see your smiling, or well, focused up face, I should say, at this point out there on the racing track. As we continue to kind of look through this field, Thompson still hanging on to that lead spot up until that 6.63 of Ryan Pendicio ends up stealing that one away. Basically, the dang near exact time, so they're going to multiple marks down there to try to figure out who's taking that lead spot, and right now it's going to be that 6.63.
Yeah, by 0.003 of a second.
Woof.
So, talk about tight.
I could see these guys in their rig, Barry or Rob look like he's some kind of executive there at Google or something. Sitting there racing, looking good out there.
Yeah.
Cool aspect you brought in here with those face cams.
The same thing down there with Jason Kraft in the 99. He's driving the FedEx car here tonight. Jason joining us with those face cams, and he's looking pretty good. He was one of a few of the drivers that we really saw be quick here in practice, so definitely look forward to him maybe trying to bounce up that leaderboard as well. As Eric Thornton finishes his qualifying efforts, as Jason Kraft on his first time around that counted jumps up into third. He's going to try to find an extra couple thousandths of a second as he ties those times again.
Jason Kraft 1,000th of a second behind Bristol Thompson. So
that's fast.
That's amazing. It's amazing how tight this field's going to be starting out here tonight.
And you are not kidding. As Derek Welsh, the El Capitan, the leader over here at the Num Thumbs Racing League. Make sure I pull his face cam up correctly. Currently, he's hidden behind that timing board, but he's all in his racing position right up on that racing wheel. Something that seems to have worked for him, especially lately. He's had a couple great results the last few races we've seen from him.
Yeah, and I'll be wearing two hats tonight. I believe he's also doing race control. So, yeah, Derek Welch, boss man, is going to have his hands full tonight. Paul Ferdiani joining us over there on YouTube in the chat, saying that he's going to put he has the AAA Broadcasting logos on the 33 and the 00 machine. Thank you so much, Paul, for that. We sure appreciate your support out there. He's pulling for Plus EV Racing, of course, the 00, the 24, the 33, and the 48 machine. Hopefully they do well tonight.
That indeed, as Jason Kraft, no doubt about that one. He does take a few hundredths off that time and ends up stealing that first place away. So good job there, Jason. As I think Mark Collins, his run is just finishing up. Looks like Cody Williams, Derek Welsh, and Gerald Duffin here are just starting to put some times in here. Of course, these guys all by their lonesome, dang near running 200 miles an hour in these cup cars, and that's without a draft. You can sure as heck bet that those lap times will even come down even more, as you don't think of Michigan as a plate track, but man, at these starts before the tire wear comes into play, man, this thing acts like a plate track a bit.
Oh, it definitely does, especially that long backstretch. You can really get a lot of airflow back there, and the front stretch. Not knowing these next gen cars, like some people, we're kind of new to the next gen game. It'll be interesting to see how much ebb and flow they got with the draft tonight.
It does. Dana Shepard in the 44 now joining us on track. Same thing with that, too, of Juan Jimenez. He had a pretty solid race going for him last week. Let's see if he can kind of continue that run that he had. You can see he's electing to use the outside line here. Problem is, I think he scraped that outside wall, which negated his time on that run. So he's going to, I think, try to maybe restart here and get back up to speed.
Good sized field tonight, too. 27 cars are going to be starting this thing. Hopefully we get 27 guys finishing the race and we don't have any DNFs. And but as you guys mentioned before, anything can happen here at Michigan. Hopefully these guys are able to find their line and manage the space around them and kind of avoid the early accidents that we've seen happen, especially on starts and restarts.
Yeah, I mean, we got the first race jitters out of the way. It should kind of flow together pretty well, I think, tonight. But it is a different track, and it gets real racy. And at certain points, you feel like you're way faster than other drivers, you know, going into 3 and 4 is where you could make up a lot of ground if you attack those corners perfectly. So it'll be fun.
As Juan Jimenez on his final lap attempt there ends up snagging that outside wall once again, so he will not be setting a time here tonight. And so I think that's pretty much going to set the field, as I think the 999 of Joe Robert is race control here maybe, but who knows, I could be wrong.
Yeah, with only two lap opportunity to put in a good time, especially if you're trying something different like Juan was running up high there. It only takes one little scrape of the wall to completely ruin your time there.
Man, you are not kidding. And for all those people watching out there on YouTube land, make sure you get your comments in, as we will be picking a fan of the race. And at the end of this season, man, we have a great prize in store for you, as qualifying is now over. We'll talk about that drawing and everything coming up here in just a little bit. But first, let's start things off with the starting grid here, with Jason Kraft picking up that AdminBoxx Pole Sitter Award here tonight with a great lap, just beating out the 663 of Ryan Pandicio. He's going to be starting on that outside line. 45 of Bristol Thompson as well, having a great lap time up there. He's going to start in third with the 14 of Cody Williams right there beside him. 44 Dana Shepard's going to start here in fifth, with the 23 of Mark Collins starting in sixth. The 3 at Chris Muth Jr. is going to start here in 7th, with the 76 of Richard Hurst in 8th. In 9th, we're going to have the 79 of Timothy Stubblefield, with the 64 of Joseph Hoggard starting on his outside and rounding out that top 10.
Yeah, he was last week's winner in that 64 machine. Curious to see how he's going to do here tonight at Michigan. John T. Fike in the 09 is going to start 11th. 12th will be Eric Thornton in the 22. Gerald Duffin in the 91 machine will start in 13th place. 14th, just to his outside, Kevin Delia in the 43 machine. Bradley Clay in the 31, easy for me to say, starting in 15th. 16th will be the 73 of Mark Brown. Paul Ferdiani in the 33 machine starting in 17th. 18th will be Joseph Bennett. 19th will be Zeth Holly in the 48 machine, and Nathan Stanley in the 67 is going to round out your top 20.
Yeah, number 1 of Derek Welch will be start 21st. 24, Rob Chowdhury, Bay Area Rob, 22nd. Number 9, Thomas Welch will begin in 23rd position. 27 of Gavin Ray, 24th. Bobby Duffield in 88, 25th. And number 2 of Juan Jimenez will be 26th. And we think the 999 will be race control or not. Joe Robert showing 27.
I believe he will be race control, as these drivers make their way down off of pit lane behind that pace car. Get everything all stacked up and ready to go. Green flag racing here for 100 laps around Michigan. I got a feeling, you said it's what, about 75% fuel for these guys, Adam?
Now we're at 70 tonight.
70% fuel. I think these guys are probably planning on maybe making this thing a 2-stop race, pitting around the 35 to 40 mark. But again, what do I know? I don't know anything about these Cup cars.
Be a stretch. We'll see if they can get it done, though. It's like they added another lap of caution for you guys.
Kind of learning as we go with everybody here with the next gen stuff. What's
Jason
Strom
Kraft
talking about?
Well,
Go
Jason
ahead.
Kraft says there's no sound on YouTube, but I unmuted and I've got sound, so I don't. Maybe he's talking about iRacing. Don't know. Adam Strom says, "Evening, fellas. Hey, Turner, I've got some great news. I'm headed down to pit road with some ice cold ones." He said he's got Leinenkrugel's summer shandy for you.
Oh, I never had that. That sounds a little.
He
Like
said he's got
some,
10 pounds of potatoes for you. Bring them down for me.
Okay, that's cool. Yeah, there's sound. I don't know what's going on with, you know, it could be your connection. I don't know. Maybe it's ours. Hell, it's a computer. I mean, it never works. Let's just be honest.
Gerald Hollister also joining us, pulling from Ford. Jason Kraft in the 99. Saying, what place is Kraft in? He's going to be starting on the pole. He is our AdminBoxx pole sitter this week.
That he is, and he had to really earn that one here tonight. We saw 3 or 4 people basically run essentially the exact same time, separated by thousandths of a second, not even hundreds, but thousandths of a second. But he finally popped through that bubble and ended up at the top.
Then we got Speed Demon 1215 on YouTube as well, saying, let's go Thomas Welch in the number 9. Let's see a fast car out there today. Glad we've got some folks chiming in over on YouTube chat. We sure appreciate all of our viewers being on. And thanks for conversating with us a little bit tonight.
Yeah, I mean, it would be weird if they weren't, you know?
Man,
Just kind of like us talking to each other, it kind of gets boring. So we need y'all's input to help us out.
that indeed, as the lights on that pace car are turned off, which means Jason Kraft and Ryan Pandicio are going to get this thing started here in just a moment with this field rounding through turns 3 and 4. That's another area we got to watch out for, is that entrance onto pit road, man. That is one of the trickiest pit entries out onto this entire circuit here. As here we go, the green flag is up. These drivers are entering that Geico restart zone, and away we go, side by side. Oh, contact with the outside wall already kind of towards near that back end of the pack, but we have drivers up at the front looking pretty good. Everything's kind of single filing out just a little bit here.
Four wide here for right here in the middle.
Getting a little crazy early.
Already, wow. Hurst is on the move in that 76 machine, that patriotic SBRN car.
Yeah, they are. They do figure out that 4-wide situation, at least get it down to 3-wide. Still people trying to shuffle up through this track, but that's the beauty here at Michigan, is it's a very wide track where you can still carry a whole bunch of that run through, as the 663 was able to take the lead. Oh, contact up at the front. That's going to send someone on down to the apron. That's the 45. He comes back up onto the track and causing a yellow flag here.
76, a victim of that as well. Hard into the outside wall. Richard Hurst is going to have some damage here. Luckily, these guys do have a fast repair.
Oh,
That was a huge hit.
that it was the 45. Bristol Thompson ended up getting stuck down there on that infield. Let's go ahead and take a look back to see what initiated all this, and it was just some hard racing up here at the front. You can see Ryan making use of that inside line, but it was Jason Kraft just getting into that 45. He ends up going up into that outside wall hard. Oh, and right down into some traffic. And you can just see that damage model, man. It, I think, looks pretty sweet. Oh, one more look at it here. As we did also see Richard Hurst in that 76. He got turned around and rode down the wall just a little bit. Thankfully, his car looked, for the most part, okay. Gonna end up using one of those fast repairs, though. Trying to see who that other car that made contact up there was. Might have been, the 88 of Bobby Duffield. Let's go ahead and take a watch from Duffield here. He's way back out of the main group, as he can see the smoke just kind of sending it through there. He had plenty of time to slow down, just didn't slow down enough.
Yeah, when that yellow comes out, check up right away if you can. It looks like he's doing his best to stay low there. Just stuff happens.
Yeah, we're getting live information up there. Looks like Richard Hurst said it broke the axle, had to tow. Terrible.
Oh,
He
man.
just got smoked.
But you know what? This is really the first car that we've seen some of this new damaged model in. And man, as much as we hate to see cautions and people's races kind of get destroyed a little bit here, It looked pretty good.
Yep. Veronica Boylan
Yeah.
joining us, pulling for Jason Kraft, saying, let's go, JC. Gerald Hollister saying, not the smartest move by the 45 there. He wasn't really happy about it. He said the 45 tried to push them all 3 wide when the outside line had to come down some right there. Nub Thumbs Gaming Community joining us. Of course, this is their league. 27 viewers online right now. Let's show our support. Hit that like button. We sure do appreciate you, Nub Thumbs, for having us on as broadcasters this season. Looking forward to working with you guys on a couple other series as well here before too long. But yeah, take the opportunity. If you like what you see, click that thumbs up button, subscribe. So next time we come on with a race, y'all won't miss it.
And then Gerald Hollister's asking a question. Is this Turner XGA in the booth? I don't know who that is, but my real life name is Mike Honcho. So I just use this name in iRacing. Just so you know, I don't know who that XGA is. Gerald, thank you.
That is for sure. As I try to input something here real quick, because I think all the fans out there really want to see this one. As it's what you could possibly win here if you're chosen as the kind of the fan of the series. Don't worry, these drivers will be given a free shot at entry, or a fair shot at entry for this wonderful keyboard down there. It's the Apicula Alpha Elite mechanical keyboard. Man, look at that thing. That thing's got the RGB lighting and everything. So each week we will be drawing a fan of the race, and if you stick with us all season long, you will have your name entered in. And in that final race of the season, someone's going to be winning that keyboard. Man, that thing is very sharp looking. I'm sure it works really good. Those mechanical keyboards, man, they some of the best things out there. So be sure to comment and enjoy the racing that we have over here.
What did he say that was the Atchafalaya Basin keyboard? English?
I think so.
Yeah, that's a long name.
Don't mind me. I'm reporting bots over here. Sorry about that, folks.
I see that. That's just insanity.
Yes, sir, indeed. Vince Short saying, hope to be back next week, fellas. Computer Shop said she's up and breathing again. Well, glad that's working out for you there, buddy, as we get ready to go back to green flag racing here. Lap number 6 here in this 200-mile race around Michigan, all brought to you by Holler Boys Racing. A little more tame restart here by the looks of it. I think people understanding how treacherous this track is going to be with how hard the racing's going to be, as we have some great movement here from the 22. He's been bobbing and weaving trying to figure out his line here, as he's currently 3 wide with a few people.
Yeah, we got a lot of miles left. These guys aren't understanding that now, I believe, and I don't think we'll see quite as much aggression here on this restart. It looks like it's panning out pretty good.
It is. We're still 3 wide back here around that 22. Eric Horton, 79, Timothy Stubblefield, 67, Nathan Stanley, 64, Joseph Hoggard, all in this mix. And this is the racing that we love to see here at Michigan. All this close quarters, but with some room racing. As up at the front, we got a challenge for the lead by Jason Kraft, looking to take that spot away from Ryan Panic at the Disco Pandicio.
Well, the 64 and the 67 real close together. 1, 2, and the 9 as well. Back there in 10th position. Really good racing all over the track there.
That is lead changes galore, as Jason Kraft does take away that lead. Here comes the 14 of Cody Williams. He's already up a couple spots on the day. He's looking like he's going to try to make that inside line work and get a pass on the 663 here right now.
He's got some heat in those tires now. This is where the tires going to start coming into them. And then, a couple laps later, their Turner, they start to fall off again.
Yeah, it doesn't take long here, and it's really kind of how you attack the track too. 3 and 4 can just eat those tires.
Oh, man, as we're almost 4 wide here, we got the 2 of Juan Jimenez, the 64, the 1, the 43, and the 73, all knotted up in a giant wad of action back here for a battle. Man, this is like a battle for like 15th, and this is some of the best racing we've seen here.
Yeah, they're still going at it. 1, 2. Ooh, the 2 is...
Oh, we got contact. There goes the 2.
And the 1.
2.
But just off the racing surface.
Oh, as the 1 hits a little bump, does rejoin without too much contact there. Everybody is hanging on for the minute as Cody Williams sneaks around the 99 of Jason Kraft. And look at this, we have the 09 of John T. Fike looking pretty racy here up at the front. He's trying to get the outside line momentum working for him right behind that 14 of Cody Williams.
No Thumbs Gaming Community over there on YouTube. Looks like you hexed DW there. But still green flag racing. Little contact between the 31 and the 44 back here. That's for 6th and 7th place, I believe.
We didn't hex anybody, but if it was going to happen, right there, there's so much open space on the inside on that back portion of the track. It kind of saved him. He's in 23rd now, but I think he's still got a chance here.
Vince is Short on YouTube saying, keep an eye out for that Cody Williams. That's a bad, bad man right there.
Now that bad man currently leading some laps here at Michigan. Oh, man, as the 31 gets a little loose there coming out of the corner. He had to check up right behind that 44 of Dana Shepard. So those two are going to be going at it for a little bit here as Eric Thornton still has a bunch of action going on around him. He's side by side with the 79 of Timothy Stubblefield. But they also have the 64, last week's winner, Joseph Hoggard, right there behind him.
Yeah, I want to thank once again DEP Graphics for just look at some of the amazing paint jobs you see on these cars running around out here. They do such a great job. We're actually able to see them all this week.
Yeah, the computer's up and running, man. You gotta get that whopper tuned up. Brown's doing a good job with his fancy new computer.
That's 43 is making a move on that 67. That's Kevin Delia. He's trying to work his way up through this field. He was very strong last week at Daytona, but trying to crack that top 10 here tonight at Michigan as the racing up at the front, man. We were talking about it earlier, how this really isn't a plate track, but it can induce some plate track style of racing. You can see there, John T. Fike, man, he was bump drafting that 14 with all its might.
Yeah, I want to thank once again Holler Boys Racing. That's boys with a Z. Check them out on Facebook. They're right at 1,000 follows now. I just checked it a few minutes ago. Definitely check them guys out. They're always posting some cool iRacing related stuff.
Got a cool name too, that's for sure. Yeah, this up front here, super racy.
Yeah, you are not kidding. You got Chris Muth Jr. He's jumping up here into that mix as well, but Ryan Pandicio and Jason Kraft still battling it out. They're 3 wide right now. Oh, outside contact there from the 22, but excuse me, not the 22. That was the 09 of John T. Fike getting up into that outside wall. That's going to slow that momentum down just a little bit as we continue to tick laps away here from Michigan on lap 14, going on to lap 15 here in just a second.
Yeah, and when you're coming out of 2, it's almost like an optical illusion. It feels like it narrows on you, and you kind of start panicking sometimes when cars are real close. So that's where you get a lot of incidents here at Michigan.
Well, and the wall seems like it kind of sneaks up on you there. It just kind of comes out of nowhere. Thanks, Albert Anderson, for joining us once again. Saying, looks like tire wear is starting to become a factor already. You see the 64 and the 44 back here. That's Joseph Hoggard and Dana Shepard working together really well, pushing each other. Doing a pretty good job that little tandem of cars is on the move.
Yeah, you got right here that 44 of Dana Shepard looking back at that 64 of Joseph Hoggard. and a whole mix of cars right there behind him as well. Got a few big movers though already. We got Gavin Ray in that 27. He's up 9 spots on the day. Same thing with that 2 of Juan Jimenez. He's up 16. He's currently got the 43 of Kevin Delia right there behind him as he's trying to get around that 31 of Brad Clay.
And Juan just couldn't get a lap in for qualifying without scraping the wall just a little bit. He knew he had a fast machine, and he's proven it now. He just couldn't get a clean lap in, but he's making up for it now.
Oh,
Yeah, I think we've got a chase pack here. So starting 15th, Gavin Ray is kind of leading this secondary pack, and they're hanging in there with all the drafting. So that may be a strategy, kind of hang back a little bit.
Contact between the 44 and the 09. The 09 looks like they have it sorted out now. I'm not sure what happened.
yeah, just a little bit of contact there, and you know what? That benefited the 64, Joseph Hoggard, as he recognized that they were down on the momentum, just moved down to that bottom line, took it 3 wide for just a second, and was able to get around both drivers in one foul swoop. So a heads-up play there by the 64 as Eric Thornton's going to lead a few laps here. He took the lead away from that 14 of Cody Williams. Chris Muse Jr. still hanging around up there, but man, look at that racing between the 663 and the 99 of Jason Kraft. Man, oh man, those guys are racing hard here tonight.
They're having fun. I guarantee they're having a blast out there.
Well, you got that racing up front. I got Joseph Bennett in the 00 17th, kind of creeping his way up. Paul Ferdiani behind him. Mark Collins, Nathan Stanley. These guys are fighting back here too.
And all being led by that 48 of Zeth Hawley in that unnatural Lowe's color there. But again, I kind of like that Lowe's paint, man. That's a solid paint. That's a really good paint.
It's simple, but it pops, man. I'm telling you. Contrast is everything. Well, 27 to Gavin Ray's got a fan over there on YouTube. It's John Buckley. So let's go, Gavin, number 27. Sitting right now about in 15th place. Started way back in the back.
And that indeed, as here comes the, I think the 44. Oh, Dana Shepard. He's trying to battle it out with the 99. Jason Kraft up here in a battle for a top 5 spot right now, or at least close to it, as Eric Thornton is trying to run away from this field a little bit. Cody Williams in tow with the 3 of Chris Muth Jr. right there as well. We saw there some of the great battles happening behind the 00 Joe Bennett back here with the 33 of Paul Ferdiani looking pretty racy here as well. Mark Collins is trying to hang around there. Joined them. I think Derek Welch is still kind of dealing with maybe a little bit of damage from that incident he had. He did hit the grass pretty hard, popped up that front end a little bit. So we'll see what happens when he comes down into pit lane, but I got a feeling he's dealing with a super tight condition in that race car.
Gerald Hollister telling us on YouTube that Jason Kraft in the 99 NTG FedEx Toyota is really enjoying racing out there and enjoying this season. Loving this league and the broadcast. Representing Myrtle Beach, South Carolina out there in that 99 car.
Why do you always say Toyota? Is that
I
like a
don't
thing?
know.
Is that just of Louisiana, or do
I'm
you
never
just
gonna.
Toe and Yoda?
You got me, buddy.
I thought you were trying to make fun of Toyotas.
No.
As we take a look here from the roof of Kevin Delia in that 43. He's been kind of stuck behind the 73 of Mark Brown here for a few laps, but we're now really starting to get into that kind of where the tires are really falling off time, and it's going to be very difficult to pass. You really got to hit your marks and get absolutely perfect on everything. As you can just see the action going on in front of them. Ooh, we got someone drifting all the way up out into that wall.
Dana Shepard in the 44 DEP machine, scraping that outside wall again. He's one of the guys that likes to run up high. That's a little bit too high, though. I guarantee you they're starting to feel the push on these worn-out tires.
Yeah, that tire got him right there. Kind of misjudged it. You'll probably be fine this next go-around here. Just pay attention to what's going on out there on the track. Listen to your car. As it
So
does change.
A two-stop race would have these guys pitting, what, lap 33, 34. They still got 10 more laps to go. Do you think anybody will try to, especially up in front, try to drag everybody down and at about lap 25, maybe to make it a three-stop race?
Man, that's I don't know. This is going to be one of those weird. You got to have the mentality of being an F1 engineer out there, trying to figure out your positives and minuses about pitting when you do, and what the risk is when other people pit and don't. As the 43 looks like he's trying to go around the 44 there and gets that job done. So I got a feeling everybody's waiting for that 22 Eric Thornton to kind of make the decision for them, and that's when everyone's going to fall on down.
I mean, that's what they call the high math, I guess, where you have to take your shoes off to finish the equation on your or use an abacus, you know. But if you got webbed toes, you know, it throws the math off. It's like trying to calculate something in hexadecimal.
It's like you with your slide rule and your web toes down. I don't know where y'all are going with that, but I don't know any high math, so I'm going to have to just pay attention to see what happens here.
Yes, we have a good battle going on for 17th here between Ferdiani, Collins, Ray, and Bay Area Rob Chowdhury. These guys are really going at it here as we're approaching that quarter of the way through this race mark.
Yeah, only got two cars that are a couple of laps down. Hurst in the 76 and Bristol Thompson in the 45. Both involved in pretty heavy hit there earlier in the race. But everybody else on the lead lap here and fighting.
Oh, and fighting is right, as Eric Thornton in that 22 continues to lead the charge around here, up 11 spots. He's been doing a great job leading this crowd around. I think he was kind of figuring out that if he could at least get up to the front pretty much right when that tire wear starts to come into play, he'll be able to maybe hang on to that lead for a little bit extra longer. Because now it's a matter of, yeah, the draft is helping you, but you're also being stuck in that dirty air. As here comes the 14, Cody Williams. Man, he's not waiting to get on some fresh tires before trying to make a pass. He made a little dive down to look down low, just not able to quite get the run there. He's now going to have Ryan Pendicio on his outside here as they head down this back straightaway.
Guys feeling the wear there, Adam.
Yeah, but it's kind of a driver's dream here, because if you're more in tune with your machine than the guy next to you, you're gonna learn it throughout the day. You can actually make up a whole lot of ground here. Tommy Welch is coming in the pits right now.
He might be one of the ones to say, screw you guys, I'm making my own strategy. As he really misses his pit box there. He's gonna have to back up, and that's unfortunately gonna not be the best of the entrances and exits that we're going to see here today.
Yeah, not a good situation for him right there. He did have a meatball flag, so he had to come down for damage repair.
Oh, I wonder if he might have scraped the wall one too many times. We've seen these guys really start to creep up towards that wall, and it's been grabbing people as we got contact here between Brad Clay and Zeth Hawley. Well, both drivers able to keep it off each other for the most part, and that outside wall for Brad Clay as they're beating and banging here on lap 30 of 100.
Something you mentioned. Go ahead.
No, I just think Zeth in the 48 just tires, kind of slipped up into him a little bit. No harm, no foul, really, but another tire issue.
Something we mentioned at the beginning of the broadcast about the incident limit. 25 incident points is going to get you a DQ, but some of these guys may be already starting to flirt with the 18X range. That's where they're going to get a black flag. I think they have to do a pass-through penalty, and then every 7X after that until they hit 25. Then they're done for the night. Hopefully we won't see any disqualifications.
Man, that is the ultimate hope here tonight, as this field's starting to kind of spread itself out. We do have battles going on and little packs kind of all formed up of people running roughly the same pace, but it's all being led by that 22 Eric Thornton, showing some real pace here on these older sets of tires. And I got a feeling as long as these guys can make it to lap 35, they can make this thing just a 2-stop race.
Well, 09, John T. Fike. Sounds like a country singer. He's coming down. A lot of guys takers right now.
Yeah, Jason Kraft being one of those, Timothy Stubblefield, Gerald Duffin, and Brad Clay all coming on down into pit road. So they're also not waiting for these leaders to come on down. And this is where that plus and minus game happens, as the 22 Eric Thornton, don't know what he was thinking there. Dropping down low. He might be thinking about coming on in and giving a little signal here to the guys behind him that, hey guys, I might be pitting here in a second.
Yeah, so here's where we get into a little bit of strategy here. But we're not just turning left, man. There's a lot of brain power that goes in this, believe it or not. Race car drivers, even in the virtual world here, use their brains. They're not just turning left, so there's strategy going on, a lot of talk between the teams, I'm sure, trying to figure out when to pit, what's right, and what to do. So,
Yeah, that's one
going forward.
That's one of the things I love about having a bunch of teams out there, is that these guys can communicate with each other, try to pit with each other, sharing information, fuel mileage, that type of deal. So it's easier to make your way through the field if you got friends around you.
So here we go, getting some more drivers down into pit road. We got Joseph Hoggard coming on in. Same thing with Bobby Duffield. They're coming on in to get some fresh rubber, some more fuel, and get back out there onto that race track. Eric Thornton still leading things around, though. We got some people trying to crawl up that leaderboard, maybe with some pit road decisions. But I guess Eric's sitting in a spot where he's thinking, you know what? I think those guys might have pitted just a little too soon.
That looks like Bradley Clay from Pennsylvania in the 31 machine is done for the night.
Ouch.
Nancy Boylan over there on YouTube saying, keep going hard out there, 99 Jason Kraft. He was trying to break his way into the top 5 earlier before this round of pit stop started.
As we have a whole bunch of people coming on down. Eric Thornton, Cody Williams, Chris Muth Jr., Mark Brown, Kevin Delia, Dana Shepard, and Gavin Ray. Same thing with that one of Derek Welch, all coming down into the pits, making their first pit stops on the night. Just a few more drivers left to kind of make this cycle complete. We got Ryan Pandicio out there in the lead now. He's got the 2 of Juan Jimenez, who is kind of charging through this field as it was, as here comes that 663 on down pit road now. Same thing with that 2 of Juan. Juan up 24 spots as this thing's kind of cycling on through. He was making a pretty big charge, as 00 Joe Bennett is now going to lead a couple laps here. He's got that 48 of Zeth Holly right there behind him. Paul Ferdiani not too far off either.
Yeah, this change up where we kind of cars coming and going, this kind of makes the race a little bit more interesting, because you're going to have slower cars out there with some faster cars and people coming and going off the track, so it does get a little dicey.
And it's cloudy on part of the track, sunny on the other half of the track. Track temperature still sitting at a blistering 114 degrees.
That's
not cooling
good
off for these guys, getting hotter and hotter. That's just going to make it more greasy out there.
Yeah, not good for the tires right now. Super hot for Michigan. I think Ted Nugent wouldn't like this. He's probably cooler in Texas right now.
As 00 Joe Bennett continues to put laps away here at Michigan. He's got Seth Holly, Paul Ferdiani, Rob Chowdhury, and Mark Collins all needing to make their pit stops here. But they all pitted back on lap number 3 when that caution came out. So they got that top up on fuel, and I don't know if it looks like they didn't take tires. Mark Collins might have got some damage fixed and tires. He had a longer pit stop, as here they come down the pit lane once again, all being led by 00 Joe. Mark Collins is going to stay on out there to try to maybe put a little extra time in and maybe get a bonus point. Not 100% sure on the point system here for Numb Thumbs, whether leading a lap gets you one of those bonus points, but if they are, Mark Collins is definitely going to get one.
Yeah, there's there's a lot going on right now on the track. Who's doing what and who wants to be where and make an extra point here or there. But the paint jobs, I mean, I was just admiring the 99 Jason Kraft's paint. That looked really cool. The 3, Chris Muth, the old Budweiser, the old junior car. Man, they're putting it together tonight. Dumb Thumbs Racing League.
And look, besides that lap 2 caution, we've been green the whole time. So these guys, I'm sure they're really glad that they practiced making it into that tricky pit road under green flag conditions, and nobody's been speeding yet today.
Ooh,
Nobody's got caught.
We got to fight for the lead here as these drivers go around Mark Collins while he makes his pit stop. Cody Williams and Eric Thornton are side by side, switching up positions, going back and forth, kind of like a lazy Susan. First it was Eric, then it was Cody, then it was Eric again, and now it is Cody again out there in the front. They got about a second of a gap back there to that 64 of Joseph Hoggard. But out of all the possibilities of what the key to the race here tonight could have been, I think one of them that we don't always talk about, but certainly don't overlook, is how much you pay that pit crew down there, because it looks like these pit times are what's going to make the big difference out there on track.
Well, we saw how close everybody's lap times were in the qualifying session, and the same thing's going to happen out there on the track, especially if, you know, the guys that are out there maybe running by themselves. They're running the line they want. Looks like Bobby Duffield is disconnected from the race as well. So 2 out of the 3 men representing the state of Pennsylvania out of the race. Paul Ferdiani in the 33 still out there plugging away, though.
Bobby Duffield, that sounds like the 5th Beatle. Sad to see him leave. Must have had a rough night with the internet. Or the car.
It's possible, as Gerald Duffin is having a little bit of a battle here with, I believe that's the 44 of Dana Shepard. These two are kind of going back and forth, trying to battle each other and then find their way up to Timothy Stubblefield up into that top 10, as here comes Chris Muth Jr. And here's a big kind of a gaggle of cars here. You got the...
Whoa! Mike almost went for a ride there. The 3 kind of got into him. He was on a big run. Sorry about that, Brown. Didn't mean to cut you off.
No.
You scared me.
Sorry about that, buddy.
That was he did have a nice run into him. Held it together, John T. Fike.
As these guys continue to put laps away here at Michigan, we're quickly approaching that halfway mark. We still have Paul Ferdiani back here in 17th. He's trying to find his way around that 00 Joe Bennett and try to crack up into that top 15 here at some point. They also have that 2 of Juan Jimenez right there in front of them as well.
So these guys know what's on the line now as far as tire wear goes. They've already completed a pit cycle. They're going to definitely be a little more cautious, I think, this second leg here, as they try to make it to about lap 66, 67 before they come down and get gas and 4 more tires.
As there's about a second gap here between first and second, and then there's another second gap from second to third, but that's where this thing is really heating up. Battle for third here. You got Kevin Delia, Ryan Pendicio, Mark Brown, and Chris Muth Jr. all in this kind of little pack that they got going on. And speaking of which, here's a Joseph Hoggard trying to hold off at 43 of Delia.
Yeah, it looks like the 79
gets up into the outside wall as well.
Yeah, 3 wide down the backstretch there. It's a little bit crowded even on a wide track like Michigan.
It is. Looks like Hoggard just kind of backed out of it. I just want to put an A in his name for some reason.
79 of Timothy Stubblefield. Stubb out there running in the 79. He's got a couple of fans out there in YouTube. Thank you, Trey Talbot and Lauren Stubblefield, for joining us. They're both pulling for the 79.
Yeah, well, y'all are cheering for him. like, subscribe, you know, all the buttons, mash all the buttons.
Mash all the buttons.
Yeah, and then we do have a fan of the race tonight, which will be in the drawing for the keyboard, real nice keyboard, at the end of the season for all the fans of the race. So keep commenting, man. We're loving it.
As we kind of look back through this field, that 64 still having a battle here, trying to stay inside that top 5. Mark Brown and that 73 just getting around him. But let's talk about the double 9, Jason Kraft, who looked like he was going to start off the day pretty strong. As make sure I got the correct thing highlighted here before I pull it up. But he's joining us on that driver cam. Don't worry, it's just a little slow. He's paying attention out there. He's not physically running at 2 frames per second. He's trying as hard as he can to stay inside this top 10. Maybe make some more pit strategy plays here as this race continues to go on along. But he's dropped 8 positions from where he started today, and that's just how racy it is up here at the front.
Well, I think what the 99's doing too, he's biding his time. He's in the top 10 right now. He's taking care of his tires. Look for the 99 Jason Kraft to maybe make some moves later on in the race.
Yeah, man, and that's a cool background he's got. What is that, Bubba Wallace? Bubba Wallace had a hell of a race here yesterday. Really good in the McDonald's machine.
Where did he finish? Second? I think he finished
second. Yeah, he was all upset. Hey,
I didn't watch it.
Place pretty damn good here. It was a pretty fun race, kind of like this one.
As we're kind of too wide here in this crazy battle for 4th, Ryan Pandicio was able to kind of get clear of that, but he's now trying to chase down these leaders as Cody Williams and Eric Thornton are about to trade positions here once again. Thornton looking down low through turns 1 and 2, not quite able to get that run to stick, so he's going to tuck right back into that draft of that 14.
Check out Mark Brown in the 73 machine. He just made another pass. He is sitting right now in 4th position in that Motor Racing Network. That's a cool paint too, that blue and white. Love that.
No relation to Alan Brown, I don't think.
That we know of.
Yeah, all us Browns got to stick together.
There you go, Yahtzee.
And that indeed, as we have racing action going on throughout this entire field, we have that 79 Timothy Stubblefield. He's side by side right now with the 91 Gerald Duffin. This is a battle to hang on to that 11th spot, which, man, got to be in 11th before you can even crack up into that top 10. So that's a very important spot. Looks like Gerald Duffin is going to get that spot for now. You also got Mark Collins in that 23 back here in 20th. He's side by side with Seth Hawley right now.
And the 79 of Stubblefield got another fan out there on YouTube. Lots of viewers out there pulling for Stubb. Jessica Warren, thank you for joining us.
It's Jason Kraft is having a little battle here with the 09 John T. Fike. The 99 has the inside line, which we've seen is probably the best line to try to overtake somebody as long as you have the run. He's got the space, and it looks like he will. Oh, as that outside line just grabbed a whole bunch of momentum, like it put it into overdrive or something, heading down that back straightaway. So that fight is not over yet.
Now, there's a lot going on with the air that you can't see. These cars relying pretty heavily on some on this aero package here.
As Cody Williams is trying to stay in front of this 22 of Eric Thornton. They're side by side once again as they exit turn number 2. Oh, little bit of contact up there. Wheel-to-wheel racing action from that 22 Eric Thornton. Maybe giving Cody Williams a little bit of that right side romance going on.
And Kraft with another fan out there. Emily Mistretta. Hope I'm saying that right. Saying let's go Jason. Thanks for joining us, Emily. Got 37 viewers on YouTube right now. We appreciate each and every one of you. So we're going to be bringing y'all a lot of racing here from now to pretty much the rest of the year here. Won't be too many days of the week we won't be on broadcasting from somewhere.
And you are not kidding us. We just passed the halfway mark of this race, and still side by side they were going. Cody Williams and Eric Thornton, man, these guys are absolutely eating up those tires. But the question is, did they save enough that they've got enough of a gap back there to that 663 of Ryan Pedicio that this battling is really not going to hurt them too much as they go side by side once again here as they come across the line.
Say congratulations once again to Holler Boys Racing, tonight's sponsor, the HBR 200. Check them out over there on Facebook. They just passed 1,000 followers. Always posting something interesting and fun about iRacing and the different leagues that are going on.
What do they got going on over there? We need to check it out.
Oh yeah, I've been on there today, just looking through their posts, and it's a cool way to network too with other racers. Check it out.
As Eric Thornton does finally get that pass done on that 14 of Cody Williams to get back into the lead where he was before that first round of pit stops, as we're probably about 10 laps away from seeing everybody come on down for that second and possibly final pit stops here, barring any late cautions that do arise as Dana Shepard and John T. Fike go side by side. Not a lot of room between them. Still side by side, heading off down through turns 1 and 2, and now down that back straightaway.
This is kind of what we've been looking forward to with these next-gen cars, is seeing how they do on a cool track like Michigan.
Yeah, it's all kind of sorting itself out right now, so a little bit spread out, but we do have action all over the field.
And that we do, like right around that 3 of Chris Muth Jr. and Joseph Hoggard in that 64. These guys have been around each other just about all race long, and they're still racing hard out there. Oh, little bit of a wiggle wobble there from the 64, but I think that was just because of how much of a run he had on the 3, so he looks down low and gets the pass done.
Yeah, they're battling for 6th place points out there. Still a lot of laps to go, but they understand that every point counts in this points race. It's only the second race of the season, but these guys got a pretty good schedule coming up.
Yeah, Zeth and Mark Collins really have a nice battle for 18th place right here too. So battles everywhere. Battle Royale right here. Juan Jimenez 15th. Paul Ferdiani and Joseph Bennett. That's a real good battle. Almost too wide here, coming into one.
Yeah, that they are Ferdiani and Double O Joe Bennett side by side through 1 and 2 with Juan Jimenez sitting right there, kind of in that catbird seat, letting these guys figure it out and then try to get a run and work his way around them. But don't look now, you got the 1 of Derek Welsh kind of trying to hunt them down. He's trying to make up from that little earlier incident he was in that I think destroyed maybe a little bit of that undercarriage and that splitter. So hopefully he got that thing all fixed up and can now make a charge here through the latter stages of this race. Let's see what else we got going on. We got
4 scraping the wall right in front of the 3. 3's going to make a move down the inside here, maybe try to take that position away.
Yeah, he was
64 struggling.
He was able to get that bumper to that inside, so the 64 is going to try to utilize that run that the outside line gets through these corners. Of course, they don't have a lot of room in front of them as the 45 of Bristol Thompson, who is a lap down, but that's due to that earlier incident. He had to tow and get some damage fixed on that 45. Still looking very racy up here, but not racing for position right now up here towards kind of like the front of this field. And looks like he's going to let the guys who are on that lead lap on through to let them try to race this one out.
Next week, totally different animal. I'm sure Derek Welch talking about the 1. DW getting ready for Martinsville next week. I know he's going to be excited for it. Completely different track than what we've seen so far this season.
Oh, yeah, totally different. Looks like John T. Fike and Dana Shepard having a little battle here.
And,
9th place.
And that battle continues to heat on up. Same thing with that Double O Joe. He's still fighting it with the 33 of Paul Ferdiani. Eric Thornton continues to lead the race here. Lap 58 out of 100. As these laps continue to just tick and tick and tick away, as Mark Brown has caught right on up to that 663 of Ryan Pendicio here, trying to jump up onto a podium spot.
We had a request on YouTube from Sean Reese saying, get the 79 sponsors a little bit of love. That's the Barber Company out of Lebanon, Tennessee. Let's see, who else has he got on this car?
Lebanon, I've been down
Klein
there.
Tools. Yeah.
That's where all the country singers live, or it has been. The old ones are. When I was down there was a bunch of country singers. You could damn near every corner. Cool.
And that's 79 of Timothy Stubblefield, currently sitting in 12th. We've seen him fighting for a top 10 spot. So this race, albeit starting to kind of run on down here, still plenty of time for that 79 to make up some ground, and look forward to seeing that as Mark Brown does make the pass on that 663 of Pendicio. So, or at least trying to, coming out of turns 1 and 2. It looks like that high line really gets a big run and push coming through the exits of 1 and 2 as compared to 3 and 4. So Pendicio going to be able to hang on to that spot, but here comes that 73 once again with a challenge, looking to the inside here through 3 and 4.
Oh, look at Joseph Hogg or Chris Buse. These guys are really battling it out here too. Mark Brown, as they come into one, fighting it out.
And a couple spots behind him, the 99 of Jason Kraft, Myrtle Beach's own. He's still sneaking his way up a couple of spots at a time, sitting in 8th.
And trying
43 had Kevin Delia had a little slowdown there, got passed real quickly. I don't know what happened, but he's trying to jump back into the draft.
As the battle up here at the front between Eric Thornton and Cody Williams, currently in a class of their own right now, almost a 2-second lead over everybody else, trying to continue to race this one out as we continue to see the great race in action we see here at Michigan. Jason Kraft coming on down into pit lane for his next round of pit stops. I think this is probably going to be the final pit stops of this race. Again, barring any late cautions. Juan Jimenez is side by side with the 24 Bay Area Rob Chowdhury as they head off down into turns 1 and 2. Got to be careful though. 00 Joe Bennett is looking to make the pass on the outside line again as well.
Yeah, interesting strategy out of the 99. Short pit in this thing. He may regret it late in the race when he's got a couple of lap older tires than everybody else. We'll see how he does though.
Eric Thornton coming on down for his next round of pit stops as well. Mark Brown still fighting with that Panic at the Disco Ryan 663 machine as they make their way down this back straightaway. As we've seen some really good racing here tonight, and this is why we love Michigan. I don't think I've ever seen a bad race here at Michigan.
Never have. And we've only had a couple of cars that got put back up in the haulers. Bradley Clay in the 31 and the 88 of Bobby Duffield. Everybody else is still out here running. Let's see. We've got a couple of cars 2 laps down and a couple that are 3 laps down. So great job, everybody, by sticking with it out there.
Yeah, I told you I was a champion here, right? You guys know that?
You have a 2-time champion, I believe.
Yes, 2-time champion Michigan. This is a hell of a racetrack, a lot of fun. And I think pretty much everybody that drives the car loves this track.
That I don't doubt. Kevin Delia in the 3 of Chris Muth Jr. continue to have a battle here before making their round of pit stops. Ryan Pendicio is going to lead a couple laps here, followed by that 73 of Mark Brown, waiting for them to make their final round of pit stops. Of course, this being the money stop where you really got to get a good entry, a good job getting into that pit stall there, having a really good virtual pit crew, which I really don't think there's much you can do about it other than hitting your spot, and then having a good exit. It's all about minimizing that time down there on pit road.
Well, you can see the difference in new tires and old as Derek Welch driving around everybody on the outside that's still on an older set. He's loving the new tires.
Yeah, you're talking almost 2 seconds a lap quicker on that newer set of tires, especially if you're out there running hard from the get-go. Still nose to tail up here at the front. Looks like a Dana Shepard kind of falling off the pace just a little bit. We still have that battle going on between Bay Area Rob, Paul Ferdiani, and Double O Joe Bennett with Juan Jimenez there as well. These guys have been around each other just about all race, and that's kind of the great thing about iRacing in these leagues is you end up, no matter how good or bad you are, you'll always find yourself around somebody about your same skill level, and you'll end up having a great race, whether that's for the win or, heck, even a top 15.
English, is that why we were always in the back of the field and you were hitting your own teammate?
I don't want to even talk about it. Looks like Brown, Muth, and Delia all coming in for that final important pit stop here, lap 66.
Okay, so here's some other strategy. Let's say we have a late caution. Let's say 5:10 to go. Is anybody going to jump down and take tires? They should have an extra set.
Well, it's all going to come down to if we have a late caution or not. I think they should be able to run these guys down to the wire here, barring any of those late cautions. Ryan Pandisio now coming on down, so we just got a few drivers to come on down yet, and those were the guys that were a little bit off cycle here, who pitted back on lap 3 and kind of threw a wrench in their plans just a little bit. Bay Area Rob going to be leading that charge, so he's going to get some lead laps here at Michigan Motor Speedway. You also got Paul Ferdiani, Joe Bennett, Juan Jimenez, Zeth Hawley, and Mark Collins all yet to complete their pit stops, and after that Bristol Thompson as well. He's got to come on down to do his final pit stop, but that's pretty much what we're looking at here for the final stage of this race here tonight. Paul Ferdiani taking the lead away from Bay Area Rob.
Florida's Chris Muth Jr. had to come back down and get a black flag cleared. He was speeding.
Oh, and that is going to hurt him big time, as he was one of those guys battling pretty hard for a top 5, maybe even get up there into a podium. As look at that, too, of Juan Jimenez. Man, just flying down through on that apron line, which you can do here at Michigan. We've seen it time and time again. It gets you, maybe that extra half a tenth of a second to get around somebody, and that's what he did. He made use of it here. It looks like he's wiggling just a little bit, but able to stay out there in front.
Yeah, he's going to have to stop here pretty soon. Go ahead, English.
Thank you, Rebecca Davis, for joining us over on YouTube, pulling for Timmy Stubblefield out there. And Albert Anderson with his hilarious comment saying Turner would be a champion at Pocono, too, if English didn't recommend turn 2. I'll never live that down, as we got a bunch of guys coming in the pits.
Hey, Jimenez, Ferdiani, Hawley, and Bennett all making that dive down into pit lane, which really only leaves one driver left not yet pitted, and that's that 23 of Mark Collins. But he has Cody Williams hunting him down on those fresh tires here mighty fast as they catch up to the 24. As the 24 tries to not go a lap down. That's Bay Area Rob Chowdhury.
Well, at least we're getting some camera time for the NTG car there, the 23 of Mark Collins. Kind of looks like LSU colors.
As that 14 of Cody Williams retakes the lead here with about a 1.5 second lead over that 22 of Eric Thornton. Joseph Hoggard has Ryan Pandisio, Mark Brown, and Kevin Delia all on that back bumper of his. So trying to figure out who's going to finish third here tonight. Man, that one has yet to be decided. But really, I think the two drivers who are showing their pace here the best, Cody Williams and Eric Thornton. And I got a feeling Eric Thornton, man, he's going to close that gap up quite a bit before the end of this one.
Jessica Warren joining us on YouTube saying the 79's got the sharpest car on the track. I'd say it's even sharp as a straight razor or a new pair of barber scissors. Just saying.
It's totally possible. It's, man, look at this gaggle of cars we got here in this battle for third. We also have some lap cars involved in this one as well. We got Ryan Pendicio currently in third, Kevin Delia fourth, Mark Brown fifth, and Joseph Hoggard. Oh, as we got contact! Oh no! Hang on to it, boys. Hang on to it. As it looks like they will be able to.
Save.
The 67 of Nathan Stanley getting involved in that one. He is a lap down. 73 of Mark Brown as well, getting involved in that. But talk about some great driving up there from a lot of these guys, being able to maintain control and keep those wheels rolling in the right direction.
If it was going to happen, that's where you need it to happen. There's so much open space on the backstretch, on the inside. So, man, that was really cool. I think we're going to see some more of it. Maybe we'll see somebody fight. I don't know. That'd be amazing.
That indeed, as we're closing in on 25 laps to go. Cody Williams out in front, followed by Eric Thornton. Then Ryan Pendicio, Kevin Delia, and Mark Brown, who are side by side here. Ooh, getting tight up here with a one of these lap down cars out, kind of leading this little pack as things continue to move on along.
Yeah, the 76 Richard Hurst working his way up, trying to get his lap back, or one of his lap backs. I think he's 3 laps down at this point. Still out there running, though, in that 76 SBRN machine.
Well, he just got involved in the big one early. The only one we've had. Unfortunate for him.
And side by side racing here between Kevin Delia and Mark Brown. Still side by side as they head off down into turns 1 and 2. But don't worry, that's not the only battle we got going on out there at the track right now. The 67 Nathan Stanley and Chris Muth Jr. had a little battle going on. Same thing with that 00 Joe Bennett. He's got Zeth Hawley sitting right there on his rear end, looking to make a move here late. Bay Area Rob Chowdhury currently in a top 15, 14th spot, trying to bring that thing home, trying to stay in front of that 2 of Juan Jimenez.
Well, it's something to even get in the top 15 here. These guys are going after it right now. Real talented drivers here in Umtum's Racing League. Next gen. Yeah, it's very competitive.
Cody Williams, we were told earlier, one of our fans over there on YouTube, that guy's a beast. Gotta watch out for him. He's a bad, bad man, I think is what the quote was. He's out there leading this thing by a second.
Oh, as he comes down into pit lane, I don't know what's bringing him on down, but he comes on down, and that's going to give the lead back to Eric Thornton, and he's going to have a pretty big gap, about 8 seconds.
Did he forget to check his fuel or something, maybe?
I don't know. That's something we're just going to have to see. He's now in the pit lane. John T. Fike in there as well. Or maybe he did fill up and did some of the math and whatnot, and it was going to be a little close, and he wanted just that little bit of extra.
And get new tires right there and fuel. Maybe he's smarter than all of us. I mean, you never know.
Maybe so.
These guys do a lot of mathematics trying to figure this thing out. The high math, as English calls it.
And, well, this battle up here for third just became a battle for second. Ryan Pendicio with Kevin Delia and Mark Brown still all nose to tail as they try to run down that 22 of Eric Thornton. They are starting to chip away at it a little bit. I think they might have realized that if they just stay in a line of 3 cars here, they will run a little bit quicker due to that draft action than that 22, and they can try to make up ground. And who knows, these 3 drivers might end up here in a fight for the win, as Paul Ferdiani has some action going on around him. He's got Juan Jimenez making his way. Same thing with Dana Shepard, Timothy Stubblefield, and Bay Area Rob Chowdhury all in this fight for a top 10.
Eric Thornton's lead just got cut by a couple of seconds. It's Ryan Pendicio sitting right about 5.5 seconds behind on that last lap when they crossed the finish line.
You know what? Let's jump into the cockpit here of that 22. I got a feeling he might be saving fuel just to make sure he can get to the end here. Let's go ahead and take a listen in. Oh yeah, he is not on that throttle at all. He is taking it super easy. So fuel save mode here for that 22 Eric Thornton. And you know what? When you had at the time when he took the lead, that was 8 seconds. He can save as much fuel as he wants. As he's running very slow out there right now.
Derek Welch looks like he's kind of doing the same thing. He's lifting a lot, letting guys go past. I know it ain't because of tires.
Not at all. Well, we've got 21 laps to go with Cody Williams setting the fastest time of the race, 39:21. Taking those 4 tires and fuel. Not the quickest of pit times, about 17 seconds. But he's looking to make up a ton of ground here as Eric Thornton continues to see that lead dwindle away. But again, that's all due to maybe some fuel saving tactics. And I think that's what Cody Williams, I think, had to pit. He looked and it just wasn't going to happen for him. He was on one of those early pit strategies where it was really going to kind of cut it close here for the end of this race. And I think it turned out to kind of bite him in the butt here.
Yeah, and I think the reason you're seeing a couple of pit stops there that are 17 seconds or so, it might be guys who already used a fast repair. They're only one, in fact. So they're having to do a little bit of manual damage repair to help them with the aerodynamics, because just a couple of seconds spent in the pits getting that fixed, you can make that up out on the track.
That indeed. As we take a look here for this battle within this top 10, you got Juan Jimenez, Paul Ferdiani, Dana Shepard, Bay Area Rob Chowdhury, Joe Bennett, Cody Williams now making his way through as well. Same thing with Zeth Hawley, and he's got Jason Kraft sitting right there as well. This top 10, man, This thing's going to come on down to the wires. We got like 10 guys battling for this thing.
These guys are not giving up. Oh, yeah.
That's what we want to see. And then here's the key. Like I said, I'm a champion here. 3 and 4, that's where they're going to make their money right here at the end of this thing. As those tires wear out, that's where you can make your attack. You can kind of plot and scam, so to say. Get this thing going, man. Let's have some good racing here at the end of this thing.
Rather than scam, you mean scheme?
No, I mean scam. I'm trying to scam. Yeah, man, I'm scamming. I'm scamming fuel. I'm putting fuel in the roll bar. I'm doing everything I can to scam my way to the front here.
As that lead to Eric Thornton has come down to under 2 seconds now. He's really using all of that time that he had built up to save as much fuel as he can here. As Pendicio, Delia, and Brown continue to try to eat into that one. Ferdiani and Jimenez have kind of broken away a little bit here from 00 Joe Bennett. So they got about a second and almost 2 seconds now, actually, on the way back to 00. As these guys continue to fight over one of these top 10 spots.
Thanks so much to the viewers out there for joining us for tonight's race, the Numb Thumbs Racing League Next Gen Cup Series. The Holler Boys racing at 200. Thanks to all the sponsors for making this possible, including DEP Graphics, who you can credit them with about half the cars in the field have awesome paints done by them. While you're watching, if you're enjoying what you're seeing, hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. Help us grow. Help us get these sponsors some airtime and some business. Small business folks, we got to all help each other at this time. Every little bit helps.
Yeah, talking about these sponsors, Got ButtKicker there. Elevate that gaming experience with a nice little kind of rumble pack and DEP graphics like you were saying. Fantastic paint schemes. Go ahead and check them out to get yourself something looking mighty fancy out there on the racetrack. Same thing with AdminBoxx. Tried to help out with these league admins to allow them to join in on this fun racing action that we see, and to also make sure the racing action continues without a hitch. We got Mark Brown really riding on that back bumper of the 43 of Kevin Delia here as we close in on the final few laps remaining. Got 14 laps to go. That lead up to Eric Thornton now almost under a second. Gerald Duffin coming on down here with a late pit stop. Same thing with that 79 of Timothy Stubblefield.
Thanks to Davidson Builders also tonight for sponsoring all of the replay action you see out there. Haven't seen a whole heck of a lot of replays just because these guys have been keeping it together pretty good on the track. That one yellow, what was that, lap 2? And that was it.
Pretty much.
So far, after that, it's been pretty smooth. We've had a couple, little beating and banging around the track a little bit, but nothing to throw the yellow. So really, really, really good race here tonight.
You are absolutely not kidding. As we got a room full of fans here and watching these drivers race around Michigan International Speedway for a total of 100 laps. And man, we are creeping right up onto that number mighty fast. Eric Thornton up there in the lead. That lead was 8 seconds. It is now down to half a second. Ryan Pendicio really catching on up here. I mean, we're talking a difference of 5 laps between the last time these guys pitted. So Eric Thornton really having to use all of that time to probably save some fuel and maybe even save some of those tires as Ryan is coming up with a pretty big charge. Kevin Delia hanging on to that third spot, looking to maybe not let Ryan get too far ahead here, as Mark Brown as well looks like he's trying to crack up here into this podium. Joseph Hoggard kind of falling off just a little bit, but still hanging around in this top 5. He's trying to ride around here behind this 3 of Chris Muth Jr. right now. Chris Muth a lap down. But then you got Cody Williams back here in 6. Really no one around him putting any pressure on. Then you got Juan Jimenez finally being able to get some space on that 33 of Paul Ferdiani. So he's got about a second gap back there. And then really one of the biggest battles we got going on is that 00 Joe Bennett, Jason Kraft, Rob Chowdhury, and Zeth Hawley all in it for a fight for this top 10. As here we go up at the front. Ryan Pendicio overtakes that 22 of Eric Thornton. We were wondering how long it was going to take, and there we go with 10 laps to go. New leader, the 663 Ryan Pendicio.
Yeah,
well, wait, go ahead.
I was just saying, Kraft back here had made a move on the 24. The 24 crossed him over and took the spot back. So these guys really fight to get into the top 10 back here.
And that's exactly what I was watching as well. The 24 and a 99, really good race. It looks like 99 is trying to overtake him here. Might.
Yeah, man, it's tight racing back here for this top 10. Kevin Delia still hanging on to that back bumper of Mark Brown hanging on to that back bumper of Kevin Delia. Looking like they might even be able to sneak up to where Eric Thornton is here and maybe even steal away another position up there. But Paul Ferdiani really trying to hold off that 48 of Seth Hawley as he's making some moves. Seth Hawley side by side with, I believe that's the 79 of Timothy Stubblefield, who's a lap down here, trying to get that lap back. And who knows if a late caution does come out, because I mean, it doesn't necessarily have to be 2 cars battling for position. It could just be a miscommunication of a car on the lead lap and a car a lap down, and they get together, and that could cause a caution here. Either way, if a caution comes out, that throws everything out the window.
So remember us talking about Jason Kraft pitting so early. He pitted lap 61 for fuel. Eric Thornton pitted lap 62. And Derek Welch also pitted lap 61. So all three of these guys are definitely sweating it. I'm pretty sure they're going to need a caution to come out if these guys are going to even be close to making it on fuel.
As Kevin Delia and Mark Brown both catch on up to Eric Thornton. He's really losing speed here. I wonder if he's been saving fuel all this long, man, he must have been at least 2 laps short based on the things. Oh, as they're slicing and dicing behind him here. Man, oh man. And that's with some lap cars, the 27 and I think that was the 91 of Gerald Duffin. All trying to get some laps back here. Ryan Pandicio with a 2-second lead over Kevin Delia and Mark Brown. Both drivers looking really good up here at the front. Juan Jimenez still up 20 spots right now in 6th. He's got a pretty big gap to try to eat away to catch up to Cody Williams there in that 14. Who, man, talk about fighting back with that pit stop. Able to crawl his way back up into 5th. So even with maybe that fuel miscalculation or whatever, he's really fighting through to get a top 5 here tonight.
Jason Kraft, 4 tires and fuel. Derek Welch is in.
Yeah, so it was that fuel kind of situation here that we thought might come into play, and it sure as heck did. Eric Thornton, all that saving coming down into pit road. So
these guys that are taking 4 tires, if you're Eric Thornton, do you do a splash and go? We'll see what he does here.
That we will. Ryan Pandicio, 2-second lead over that 73 of Mark Brown. Kevin Delia still there as well. So this battle for who's going to finish where in this top 3 is not yet over, with 5 laps now remaining. Paul Ferdiani, he's trying to chase down that 48 of Zeth Hawley. He's been trying to inch his way forward, but Zeth just running a little bit quicker. 00 Joe Bennett, same thing. He's trying to hold off that 24 Bay Area Rob as well. You got John T. Fike in that 09. He's had his own little issues here with that outside wall. He's trying to catch up to that 23. And Mark Collins back here and try to find his way up into 11th, as every position matters with it when it comes down to the points here.
What kind of mathematics are they doing, Thornton and Hoggard? They got something up their sleeve here with that late pit stop?
I think Thornton saw that the other guys were maybe heard that the other guys were taking 4 tires on his final stop. He took fuel only. It looks like Joseph Hoggard may have taken 2 tires.
This thing's starting to wind down, isn't it, Brown?
Yes, it is, as we're now inside of 3 laps to go. Let's go ahead and take a look from the gearbox here of Ryan Pandicio. You can just see there in the distance that 73 of Mark Brown looking to try to close up a second here, and these closing laps. Kevin Delia trying to hang on to it as well, as these drivers are giving it all she's got here in this Numb Thumbs Racing League Cup Series race here tonight.
I'm trying to pinpoint my favorite part of this race. I haven't been able to figure it out. It's been so fun.
It's hard to pick a single moment. We've seen so many lead changes and so much excitement on the track and contact and great race so far. It's hard. It really is hard to nail down what my favorite part of the race was. That initial start of the race was pretty exciting there for a couple of laps until the caution did eventually come out.
As the 663 crosses that line, takes a white flag, so no late caution is going to interrupt this one here tonight. We're essentially going to be going flag to flag with that early caution here. Still out in front by just under 3/4 of a second over Mark Brown. Does Mark Brown have enough left in those tires to push it and make that time up here as they make their way down this back straightaway and into turns 3 and 4? Ryan really trying to maybe manage that fuel and tires just a little bit more. Mark Brown closing that gap just a little bit, inching on forward. Gap is now half a second. Is he going to get the run? No, he is not. Ryan Pandisio comes across the line with the win here at Michigan, followed by Mark Brown and Kevin Delia. That's not the only racing we still have going on this racetrack, though, as it looks like Cody Williams will fight his way back up to fourth. Juan Jimenez in fifth. As here comes 00 Joe Bennett up the inside of Paul Ferdiani here. Same thing with the 24 Bay Area Rob, all inside this top 10. Looks like 00 Joe is going to steal one away from Paul here as they cross the line. Seventh, Paul Ferdiani in eighth. Bay Area Rob tried to get that run there. Bay Area Rob tried to get the run on Ferdiani there, but not quite able to. Is going to take ninth. Joseph Hoggard and Mark Collins finished behind John T. Fike there in 11th, with Dana Shepard coming in 10th.
Well, it was close out there, folks, in the chat world. Thank y'all so much for joining us. Gerald Hollister is our fan of the race. You've been entered into this drawing they're going to do at the end of the season for that awesome keyboard that we showed earlier. So thanks for sticking with us, everybody. We sure appreciate all y'all.
And what an impressive run by a couple of drivers. Juan Jimenez, I think, up 21 spots. That's your biggest mover of the race. Zed Hawley at 48 had a good run too. Anybody, if you finish in the top 10, you should be pretty proud of yourself here tonight.
Yeah, we had great race in action, as well as some really interesting strategy calls, and that's what I think ended up coming down to it here, is when people pitted, and it looks like that kind of pit late strategy is what really got some of these guys these great finishes, like Ryan and Mark and Kevin, all these guys with those late pit stops really kind of helping them out here.
Looks like the Plus EV guys doing a little photo op down here.
As we just wait for drivers to join us in the podium.
Yeah. Oh, man. Gets wild in Michigan, guys. It's, just like Ted Nugent, man. Wild man.
The wild man, Uncle Ted.
Yes, sir, indeed. And just, like I said, waiting on these guys to kind of find their way up to this podium.
We want to thank our sponsors once again. Tonight's sponsor, Holler Boys Racing. Check them out on Facebook. It's a pretty awesome Facebook page with about 1,000 followers now. And DEP Graphics for being the title sponsor of all the racing you're going to see here in Numb Thumb's Next Gen Cup Car Series.
Yes, sir, indeed. As we are now being joined by some of these drivers, let's talk to our third place finisher here tonight, and that's going to be that 43 of Kevin Delia, having a great battle there with Mark Brown as they were coming down through the final stages of this race. Kevin, congratulations on the podium finish here tonight. Kind of walk us through this race, as it looks like it was going to be a strategy race after all.
Yeah, in the beginning, I guess I wasn't saving as I should have. I probably could have saved a few extra laps there and probably made this, at least gotten a second. But, it was a lot of fun right there at the end with Mark. And, man, I was half a lap. Half a lap. If I would have saved another half a lap, I could have just gone for it and stayed in front of him.
It's so hard to look back and just, second guess yourself. But it's hard not to, But next week's going to be a totally different animal. Y'all are going to Martinsville. How you feel about short tracks, Kevin?
I've actually never ran Martinsville in like an actual race. Done a practice, so it'll be interesting. Yeah, I really don't know what to expect. I mean, I'm sure there's going to be bumping and banging and typical short track racing.
Well, you did it here at the 2-miler, man. Fun track. Did you have a lot of fun out there? Real competitive, it seemed like, at Michigan.
Oh yeah, no, it's definitely a lot of fun. Right off the bat, like right off the start with this package, it's just so racy, and then it really starts getting into strategy once everybody starts kind of spreading out a little bit and who's pitting when and who's saving gas, and this track it is a lot of fun.
It definitely looked like it from our perspective up here, Kevin. Well, we thank you for the time, but before we let you go, you got any shout outs to the fans out there that you want to say?
Well, I want to thank DEP, race on their team. Huge shout out to my teammate Ryan for winning this race, and yeah, thank you guys, and thank Derek Welch for putting this on.
Awesome. Well, we thank you so much there, Kevin, and we wish you the best of luck and happy practicing for Martinsville next week.
Thank you, guys.
All right, so we will now move up this leaderboard by another spot here. And we're going to go to someone with a last name that I can understand. That's Mr. Mark Brown driving that 73, up 14 spots on the day here, Mark. A great run, and it definitely seemed the strategies had to come out to play for this one.
Yeah, it was kind of a fuel mileage game, I believe. I came out of my last pit stop, and I was going to be like 5 laps short, so I had to save, and that's really not my character because I wanted to go, you know.
Everybody wants to mash down on that go pedal all the time. It does take a lot of discipline to do some fuel saving out there, but you brought home that number 73 Chevy Camaro with the MRN all over it. We love the paint job too, by the way. What do you think about next week? Short track racing at Martinsville.
Martinsville's pretty fun, but I've actually never raced Martinsville with these cars, so you know it could be an experience. I don't know. I like Martinsville. I've had pretty good luck there in the Xfinity and the trucks, but I don't know about these cars. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of beating and banging and stuff like that, but you know, hopefully I have a good race.
We had a hell of a race tonight. What was kind of your favorite part of this race? I love Michigan. I think it's real racy, and kind of proved that tonight with y'all. But what did you enjoy out there on the track at Michigan?
Oh, I liked it. It was all very racy from the beginning, and then after a few laps, it kind of smooths out, and then you got to get in a rhythm. You know, and I love this track just for that. You know, you got 2 or 3 grooves, but it's a rhythm track, and you hit your marks, and you can get around there and save your tires.
Well, you did a pretty good job of that here tonight, Mark, finishing in 2nd place. Before we let you go, do you got any shout outs to the fans out there?
Just the league. You know, I'm a new driver. This is my 2nd race, and to you guys broadcasting, you know, seems like a pretty nice, fun place to race. So hopefully I found a home.
Man, it certainly does look like it here, Mark. Well, again, congratulations on the 2nd place finish here tonight, and we look forward to seeing what you can do here next week at Martinsville.
Thank you very much. Hope to talk to you again real soon.
All right, and so for 2 weeks in a row, we get to talk to this man, and that's going to be the 663 of Ryan Pendicio. Ryan, congratulations picking up the win here tonight. It looked very racy from the get-go, and it turned out to end up being a strategy race.
Yeah, it was, for Michigan, it was actually a lot of fun. Usually not a huge fan of this track, but this setup actually was fairly solid for it.
We heard your teammate Kevin talking a little bit about strategy. Did you guys get together at all before the track and kind of do the math, or are y'all just kind of out there winging it today? Because it looks like y'all may have had a plan from the beginning.
Well, from the start, we saw we could go about 30 laps, and that caution came out, so I had the idea of trying to stretch out that that 2nd run once we went back green, and from there on, I think we were able to get enough fuel to the end.
Yeah, you sure did, man. Awesome job tonight. You have anything that kind of was your favorite of tonight, besides winning a thing? I mean, any battles you enjoyed with some of the guys, and anybody you want to thank before we let you go?
Honestly, I just had fun kind of trying to tire save and get back through the pack. But shout out to Dockett, of course. DEP for these paint schemes that he's putting on, and putting together a good team of us, and you guys for solid broadcast.
Awesome. Well, Ryan, we thank you for that, and we look forward to seeing the great action here that Martinsville's going to produce. And if it's anything like this race here from Michigan, I think we're in store for a good one. So go enjoy this win here this week, because you got a battle here next week.
Thank you.
All right. And so with that, that is the race in action from Michigan complete. And I got to reiterate it. I don't think I've ever seen a bad race at Michigan. This was absolutely fantastic.
100%. And congrats once again to Ryan. Put on a heck of a race out there. Started outside row one and able to stay up there. I mean, a little up and down, but once they had their strategy kind of figured out on the fuel mileage, all he had to do was keep sticking with the strategy, and worked out for him.
Yeah, no, I agree. Awesome track. Good group of fellas here. Numb Thumbs Racing League, man. Hey, that's a heck of a Monday night, right? Can't get any better than that to finish your Monday off. So, really enjoyed it.
Hey, you are not kidding. This is just the beginning of the race week that we got here on tap for y'all. So hold on a second and we'll tell you what's coming up next. But first, let's go ahead and do our official finishing order here tonight with that 663 Ryan Pandicio finishing in first. The 73 of Mark Brown up 14 spots on the day. Holy moly, great run from him up there in second. Same thing with that 43 of Kevin Delia, able to make up 11 spots to finish here in third. We have the 14 of Cody Williams with that late pit stop that we thought would absolutely send him back down through this field. He made up a ton of time. He was able to climb back up into fourth right where he started. It's a great run there from that 14. The 2 of Juan Jimenez got caught up in traffic early, but man, he sliced and diced his way through this field here tonight to finish up 21 spots, your hard charger of the day, and rounding out that top 5. The 48 of Zeth Hawley finishes up 13 spots here in 6th, so great run from Zeth. You have 00 Joe Bennett up 11 spots here in 7th. 33 of Paul Ferdiani, he had some battles going on just about all race long. I'm sure he had some fun here tonight, finishing in 8th, with the 24 Bay Area Rob Chowdhury up there in that top 10 in 9th. With the 44, Dana Shepard looked very racy early on and was able to hang on for a top 10 finish here tonight.
John T. Fike in the 09 started 11th, finished 11th, finishing 12th. The 64, last week's winner, Joseph Hoggard, not having as great a day today as he had last week, but he'll be back for Martinsville next week. Mark Collins in the 23 finishes in 13th place. 14th will be Eric Thornton in the 22. The 91 of Gerald Duffin finishes the first car one lap down in 15th place. The second car one lap down. The 3 of Chris Muth Jr. Finishing in 16th. Gavin Ray in the 27 finishes in 17th place. 18th will be Timothy Stubblefield in the 79. 99 of Jason Kraft finishes in 19th place after starting on the pole. He was the AdminBoxx pole winner today, and he'll finish in 19th place. And rounding out your top 20, the boss man, the 1 of Derek Welch.
Yeah, 21st, 67, Nathan Stanley. 22nd, 76 at Richard Hurst. He just got crushed early. Terrible for him. He'll be back next week, I'm sure. Looks like then 23rd, the number 9 to Tommy Welch. 24th, the 45, Bristol Thompson, involved in that huge crash early as well. 25, 25th place, 88 of Bobby Duffield. And rounding it out, 26, the 31 of Brad Clay.
And that does round out tonight's race field. We thank you all for tuning in and watching this amazing Numb Thumbs Racing League Cup Series race here from Michigan. Because you guys are the reason why we do this, is hanging out and having all these fans out here to talk to and interact with and have as much fun watching these things as we do. So thank you very, very much for that. As well as our great race sponsors here tonight. We had DEP Graphics. As always, great paints on a lot of these cars. Go check them out. Same thing with ButtKicker. Go heighten your simulator experience. Get yourself a ButtKicker and feel that rumble in the seat, as well as AdminBoxx, proud sponsor for the Poll Winner Award here. So thank you so much, AdminBoxx. Same thing with Davidson Builders. I know we didn't get to see their logo much here tonight, as they are the official Action Replay sponsors, but they do a great job. And of course, tonight's race sponsor of Holler Boys Racing. We thank you all for jumping on board and supporting these leagues, because these leagues are amazing to watch, and it just makes our job that much easier to broadcast it and put things on for the great fans out there to see. On tap for the rest of the week, tomorrow night we got the HCK Beagles Racing League headed on over to Talladega, so that's going to be a ripping and wild show. We saw 40 cars take to the grid last week, so be on the lookout for 40 plus cars to join us here once again. And then we got Vigilante Racing League on Wednesday night. They're going to be jumping up here to Michigan in those Xfinity cars, so we've seen some great racing in these next-gen cars. We're going to see some great racing in those trucks tomorrow night, and great racing in the Xfinity cars. So we have just action-packed racing all through this early to mid-week to go. So on that note, I'm Alan Brown for Alan English and Adam Turner. We thank you all for tuning in and watching, but we're signing off until tomorrow.
We gone.
See ya.